sisters, lovers
Hi,
out
girl.
there. Welcome back to the Love Stella Podcast. And we are honored, blessed, and very, very happy to welcome our homegirl, Roxanne, to the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Definitely. It is definitely a pleasure to be here. Roxanne and I met, what year was that? 2019 going on 20. Yes. 2019 going on 20. We were both country ambassadors for Africa's Mental Health Matters.
Yes. I was for Ghana, and I think you were for the USA.
No, I was for Nigeria. I was living and working in Lagos at that time. Yeah, don't mind me, my Yankee days now, but I was in Nigeria. Then we had the opportunity to meet and to work together, and Roxanne has always been so supportive, so welcoming, because at that time she was already a member of the organization. I was more or less sort of a newbie. I had known Vanessa for other things, but I hadn't really been involved. So just very, very welcoming, very, very nice. Obviously, a mental health advocate and someone that I really enjoyed getting to know. So you're welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Stella. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So now, before we kind of go into the meat and potatoes of, I guess, our conversation today, how are you doing? How are you doing right now?
Right now, I can say I'm a bit more relaxed. The past couple of weeks have been a bit hectic because I did a lot of traveling, moving around. So now this past week or this past few days have been more settling, like more relaxing. I'm giving myself permission to rest, to just take things easy. So I think I'm fine. I'm better now. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I understand how it can be coming down from a period of travel and a lot of excitement. So, welcome back to Ghana. Hope you can get your life back to regularly scheduled programming. But tell me the things that you've been up to lately. I've been seeing a lot of, now you're about to be nominated for an Emmy. I mean, like, what's going on?
Okay, amen. I claim that.
Amen. Oh, amen.
So I would say 2023 was the year I decided to pursue my passion for theater, for acting. So I got into Riverman Production. It's the biggest theater platform in Ghana. We do stage plays every quarter. So I've been able to feature in 2 plays already. And I'm currently participating in the Africa Monologue Challenge. I have made it to the final 50. There have been a few evictions, so we have come down to, I think, final 35. A few more evictions are to come. They are going to evict till like the last 10. So
wow. Praying you make it to the top. Praying you make it to the top, definitely.
Fingers crossed. That's the plan. And also I'm also working on my class. I'm resuming class next 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks Sunday. I have to go back to the class, my dance, because dance is also a passion. So I've missed my students. They've also missed me. And so I decided to go back to class next 2 weeks. So far, that's what I've been doing. That's what is upcoming.
Okay, that's great. Let's dig a little bit deeper. Tell me why theater. Tell me what that gives you the opportunity to demonstrate that you feel as though other forms of art don't necessarily.
Well, theater, because I think theater has always been a first love, somewhat. Yes, when I was in primary, junior high school, senior high school, like I've always been part of the drama club, and I'm an expressive person. I think I have a lot of energy within myself. Like I'm a fireball. Like I need to express myself.
I feel that. I've always felt that. Definitely. I completely understand what you're saying. Yeah.
So So being into theater was always my favorite outlet or my favorite space to be able to express myself. Unfortunately, after let's say before secondary school or maybe during secondary school, I was always in the drama group and all that, but outside of school, I couldn't really put myself out there, like audition, do monologues, or pursue it. Because again, you're in Africa. Like, are you going to pursue acting? Like, no. So, I mean, my family wasn't really for that. They were not really supportive of that. I remember there was a time where someone from my church at the time came to advise me that as a Christian, acting shouldn't be a career that I should pursue. And that thing did a number on me. Like, I held on to that for a long time. So even through my senior high school days, through university, I was still active, but then I told myself I could never go mainstream. Like, I can't put myself out there, because I mean, as a child of God, this is not a noble profession.
Excuse me, come. Wait, Roxanne, did she give you a list of the Christian ones that were acceptable? Is that what she did? Did she tell, okay, these are things you cannot do, that you can choose from these top 10?
Let's say, I don't know whether it was the same for everyone else, but you know how at the time, like the only few things that were kind of notable or notably Christian or approved is like when you were like a choir star, or you're going to do gospels music, or maybe you are training to be a junior pastor, all those things that it has to be in the church. The audience must be the church. Like, it has to be church. So I guess that was what she meant. And I held on to that. So I'll be in all the plays in high school, in my department, in the university. I was always on stage, but I never was able to gather courage to go for auditioning or to put myself out there or to build a portfolio and say, okay, I'm an actor. I want to be an actor. But so where I am right now, Roverman Productions, I went for an audition in 2014, I think. Yes, I was in university at the time. So I was like, okay, now I'm in uni, let me explore. I didn't get in. So then I was like, okay, maybe this is not really for me. So I came to sit down. 8 years later, 2023, January, I went back to audition and I got in. So this is the year that I decided that, you know what, I've always been expressive. And when COVID came and everybody was on TikTok. In fact, yes. That was like my solace. Like, I was like, wow, this is a platform where I can express myself. I can dance, I can act, I can do comedy, I can do everything that I want to do. Like, I really enjoyed it. I was like, and people would say, why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you on TV? Why don't you pursue this? And finally, 2023, I said, why not? Like, I'm grown now. Like, It's okay. It's not late. I can still do this. So, and I'm doing it now. I think now I'm going to really put in the work, because it's my happy place. It's my happy place.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you decided to throw everything to the wind and go after it. I think that a lot of times we let our own negatives, this now, we let our negative self-talk hold us back. We let something that somebody told us back in yesteryear hold us back. Who could imagine a Christian profession? I can't imagine. That's just so...
and for me, I think it's so limited. Like, what is even a Christian profession? Like,
if you're a Christian, your Christian profession is anything that you're doing as a Christian. What are we talking about? It doesn't matter what that thing is. I understand where she's coming from. Like you said, I understand that mindset, but it's just definitely a myopic place. And I'm just so happy that you just broke all those chains and you're doing what you're doing. I definitely was watching your TikToks and all this. I was like, oh, Roxanne is doing it. Okay. You definitely, because there's some people that get on there, they do the side by side. And it's like, let's keep up. But you definitely never had any of those issues. So I'm very, very happy. A couple of things. The first thing, logistically, so these are just stage plays, or are they recorded and are available? for people to see?
So they are so they are stage plays. They are recorded. Every play is recorded, but they are not available to the public.
Okay.
Yeah, so they are all live performances. So of course it's available till when we need to put it out or when we need to present it for a purpose, but it's not on main media stream like say Ebo White's or Riverman production plays are here for everybody to know. No. It is solely the intellectual property of the production house, and they use it as and when they want to. Yeah.
Are you thinking about taking that step to movies themselves, crossing over into Nollywood? Nollywood is huge. And there's a movie industry in Ghana as well, right? There's a movie industry in Ghana. Is there a movie industry in Ghana?
Yeah. We have Ghollywood. We have Ghollywood. But I mean, I don't know how my fellow Ghanaians are going to feel about this, but I'm so glad you mentioned Nollywood, because in Africa, I want to work with Nollywood soon. Like, I really look up to what they do in Nigeria. I love what we do here in Ghana as well. But when I'm streaming online and I want to enjoy any African movie content, it's Nollywood I look to. And I'm going to manifest that. I'm going to be on the Nollywood soon. So I'm glad you mentioned Nollywood, because yes, that's a confirmation that it's going to happen.
It will happen. It will happen. I feel as though, and especially now, I think that Nollywood they have really expanded the type of movies that they put out, because I want to say when I was growing up, the movies were all the same. It was same. Yeah, but now you want a romance flick, you got it. You want a crime drama, you got it. You want a family saga,
folktale. Like, I really like how Nollywood is telling Nigerian stories, like period, point blank. Like, it could be an old story, but the way they are retelling everything is just so beautiful for me to watch, and I really look up to what they do. So that's like the standard I'm hoping to get to.
Lately these days I've been on this settle down at home, watch a movie and chill aspect. So I'll go to Netflix, I'll go to something that is I haven't seen it looks interesting, and I'll watch it and I'll be blown away. I'll be blown away.
Like, no, but it's so beautiful. Like, and I'm so proud that like Africans and Nigeria, it's really putting Africa on the map in terms of entertainment and movies and all that. Because of course, Ghana too, we are there, we are coming. But then for me personally, I'll place Nigeria here when it comes to movies. Recently I watched Sister, and then
have I seen
Big Love? It's on Prime, Amazon Prime.
It's on Amazon.
Big Love and Sister. And those stories, Big Love is like this very feel-good, romantic setting, but still there's an Africanness to it. I'm like, wow, the story is not that serious. It's not like a dramatic turn of events, but it's just so nice to watch. Just like how you watch maybe a Christmas story, or an American Christmas story, or an American romantic comedy movie, and then it's just fun to watch. Nothing serious, you know. I really appreciated that. So,
which is needed sometimes. It's not every time that you have to be talking about war and peace. Let's just chill.
Exactly. Let's just live and enjoy the little stories here and there.
That's amazing. I'm very, very happy that you found your happy place, and I'm adding voice to your manifestation for Nollywood. Adding voice to that.
But what because the Africa Monologue Challenge, those who are organizing they are Ghanaians, but then they are in collaboration with other African change makers or other African top directors. But the organization that is putting that out is Ghanaian. So definitely I would like to be on the Ghanaian screen as well, and in Africa as a whole. So
of course. Definitely. Like I said, adding my voice to that manifestation for you. But my first love that I witnessed from you was dance. Yes. Dancing, to dancing for mental health, dancing to kind of express your femininity as well, and it's just exercise, that's just to me that's base level, but there's just so much more. There's so much more to it. Tell me how you got into dance and how dance really plays a part in your self-care story.
In fact, so with dance, again, I've always been an expressive person, a performer, an artistic person. So with singing, dancing, acting, it's always been in my blood. However, acting was something that kind of incorporated all of this, but acting was like my go-to. It was like the whole set. Singing and dancing were like subsets. I never saw myself as a dancer among all the other expressive arts that I was into. I saw myself more as an actor. Dance came to me by accident, not that by accident, like I was always dancing, but I never thought I could impact people through dance alone. So it started when I was in the uni, in my department, every Friday. So I did French and Spanish. Every Friday at the Spanish department, we did salsa dance. It was part of our cultural extracurricular activity. So then one day we were doing the salsa, and then we had we invited some guest instructors, and they were Kizomba instructors. And then they introduced us to Kizomba. I was like, oh, wow, this is cool. I like it. So one day my best friend was like, okay, they're having this Kizomba night here. So let's go. I went. I fell more in love with Kizomba. I was like, okay, I really want to learn this because I love the music. I love how soft it is. I love how it made me feel. So then I started learning Kizomba. Then I met my dance partner at the time. Then we joined forces together. We created many workshops. Then a few years after I isolated, I decided that, okay, I think I want to impact women specifically. So then I started the Kizomba lady styling. And alongside that, I realized that, okay, I had a flair for Afrobeat as well, line dancing and all that. So it all came together without me really going to seek for it. So it's like dance came to me, like, you know, it sought me out. It was like, okay. And I love it. I mean, it made me feel good. And that was how my dance journey started. So although in the beginning it was acting, dance was what put me on the top front, or like, you know, out there. Dance is what made me got me noticed, you know. Dance is what made me, you know, more confident, more sure that, okay, yes, I'm a performer. I want to do this. I want to do this. I feel good. And I like how I express myself through my steps. So that was how my dance journey started.
That's amazing. I love salsa dancing. I don't feel like I'm very good at it right now. So what did there was a time that I actually enrolled in this virtual coaching. What's the one that starts with the B? Bachata, I want to say.
Bachata. Oh, that's also a nice one. That's bachata.
Yeah, they're all in the same family, correct?
Kind of. I
Maybe
mean, they can all be classified as ballroom dancing. But originally, and their histories are different. So the history of bachata is different from the history of salsa, and totally different from the history of Kizomba. So one vast difference is that Kizomba is 100% of African descent, is African. It's from Angola.
Why did I think it was, I thought it was solely, I thought it was a South American something.
No.
It's African.
So it's because of the influence, like, because, you know, they came to learn, and the market was bigger there. And also it goes to tell how we in Africa, we don't really value what we have. So, I mean, the West came to see it, they loved it, and they promoted it on a larger scale. So it's more recognized there, or more patronized or appreciated there than it is here. A lot of people still don't know that Kizomba is 100% Angolan. It's from Angola, you know.
Angola, interesting.
Yes. What? So, but the bachata and then the salsa, I know salsa has a history from Cuba and maybe some part of the Congo. It has a little bit of African in it.
African
but
inside. Okay.
it has more of Latin America influence. But
Okay.
then Kizomba is 100% Africa.
Okay, 100% African. So you focus on Kizomba for ladies, but is Kizomba is it a couple dance? Is it a couples dance? It is. Okay.
Yes.
It is. Okay.
It is a couple dance. So we have couple dance and then we have styling. So the styling is usually for ladies. We have men styling too, but the lady styling is more popular. So lady styling is just for ladies getting to be more in tune with themselves and learning how to flow in their femininity, embracing their sexuality, and then also feeling more confident and loving themselves more. So that's why I got so attracted to the lady styling instead of the couple eventually. I do still teach couple, but then I teach real couples in private. Like if you and your partner want to learn, then I teach, but I don't teach couple like on a large scale. No, couple, no.
Session. Okay.
I prefer to remain with the ladies.
Yeah, I think that it's just so amazing. There's also been such a resurgence around femininity, getting more in tune with yourself, being more in flow. I definitely think that we were before we actually pressed record, we were talking a little bit about the lessons of the pandemic, and that was definitely one of the lessons that I learned, by force. And then I decided, to flow, and then I decided to flow with it in terms of you can't really, when you actually hone into your femininity, you understand how important it is to put your intention out there, but then you kind of need to trust in the laws of nature and just let it flow. You really, really need to
let it flow. I think one of the things that I've been practicing now to help me relax, I don't know, but I think that women, the kind of feminine energy that we have, it's supposed to flow like water.
It is.
So I always think that, when water is stagnant or something is blocking water, it stays there and it starts breeding stuff, mosquito, insect, larvae, whatever, bacteria. But then when you leave it for it to just flow, it doesn't really probably know where it is going, but it's going to find its course. And that is what I keep telling myself now, that you are water, you need to flow. Let it go, surrender to the movement of, your whatever, and you get there. That is what I keep telling myself, that you are water, just flow like water, flow like the river, and you get there.
Honestly, it's a very, very serious life lesson that a lot of people learn the hard way. Unfortunately, you gotta just let things flow. No, it's not an easy thing to do.
Letting go and just letting God and surrender. It's not easy.
No. There was you remember I was sharing the new segment that we had on the podcast about our guests leaving a question for the next guest. My very first guest that did this, Damilola, left a question that was what are some things that you learned during childhood that affects you right now as an adult? Because obviously we know as mental health professionals, a lot of the challenges and the barriers that we face as adults started in childhood, right?
Definitely.
The environment that you were raised in, what people said, what people didn't say, the abuse that you suffered, all of that affects you today.
Yeah.
And in terms of schedules, timing, planning, all that is so hard-grained into my system, because as a child, listen, when you wake up, this is what you do. This is the breakfast that you eat. You need to get on the bus. If you get off the bus, this is what you do. It was like a military regime. And so now shaking all that off.
It's not easy.
It's not easy. But there was a quote from a psychologist that I read the other day that said, a lot of times when you have trauma, you can't just, it's not the first time that'll actually allow you to release whatever you need to release. So a lot of you got to do it a lot. You have to do it again and again.
Over and over and over and over. Like, it takes, oh my God, like, trauma. Yesterday, I think today, I made a post and I wrote that sometimes I wonder what my life would have turned out to be had I not gone through trauma and confusion. Because I have come to realize how much of your life that takes away from you, or that's not like how much of the experience you miss out on. Although I'm grateful, I'm happy for who I am, who I'm becoming, but sometimes I just really wonder what would have become of me had I not gone through what I went through. You know, I could have maybe achieved certain things earlier. Yes. I could have been more sure of myself sooner. You know, I think of it, it's not easy. Because even as I'm saying, like, I'm like, now I'm giving myself permission, because it just dawned on me a few days ago that, Roxanne, relax. You've always been fighting to survive. Like, you've always been, you know, masculine, like trying to get this, trying to get that. What am I going to do? But just like water, you just have to be. Just be, you know? Just be. Let it be. It will sort it, like it will just sort itself out as it has always done. And I reflect, I'm like, wow, when I think about my life 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, there were many times where I thought I wouldn't get through something, but here I am. Yes. So then that's the same way I will still get through this in the next few months or in the next years to come. So just let it be. Yeah. It will flow. And that calm, I would say, gives me the clarity to even manifest better. Yes. Because, you know, when you are confused and there's so much chaos and there's so much noise in your head, you can't really manifest. You just be fantasizing and you be frustrated. But then when you just let go, which is still, you know, I'm doing with practice. It's not easy. I don't have it unlocked all the time, but I just, you know, just breathe. And also, I tell myself, do things at a slower pace than you used to do it. If you used to talk fast, maybe talk slower now. If you used to eat fast, maybe take it down a notch. If you used to walk too fast, maybe, you know, slow down your pace. And trust me, all these little slowing down has really brought me some feeling of settlement and like, oh, okay, I'm here. I can do this. You know, I don't know, man. Like, that's just how I am experiencing it now. And I think of the trauma. I'm like, wow, look at the work I have to do every day. Every day. And I wonder what my life would have been, or where I would have been now had I not been spending so much time trying to understand myself and what happened to me and how I'm going to be who I need to be, you know?
Exactly. I completely am in alignment with what you said in terms of slowing things down. You got to slow down. Right now, the seasons are changing here in the United States. You know, we are in the middle of autumn. Yeah. So things are slowing down physically. You see things slowing down outside. You see the growing process slow down. You see the leaves falling from the trees. Yeah. So this year I'm really, really taking time to enjoy my surroundings. Because they clearly mirror what we need to be doing as humans as well. Yeah, it's changing, slowing down, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. That doesn't mean that it's bad. You just need to roll with it. My birthday's coming up on Friday.
Oh, wow. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm very, very reflective in terms of what you were talking about and where you would be without the trauma that you're having to work through. That's a story for a whole nother day. That's a monologue. Shout it, girl. That's a monologue on here, for real. But yeah, just being mindful, just slowing down, just being in flow is definitely what's been keeping me kind of afloat. I guess to kind of transition to the next part of our conversation, I think it would be helpful if I'm a little bit more open. You know, I got married in 2018.
Okay.
That was before we knew each other. Have 2 children now and am going through a period of separation from my husband. And
I'm sorry about that.
Yes, thank you. We're happily co-parenting together. So it's important that we maintain a friendship in terms of being able to positively co-parent our children together. I think that we're both completely on board with that. But it's caused me to really take a step back when it comes to relationships and how I think about them. There was a conversation that I had with my friend Sylvia, which was the podcast right before this podcast that will come out. And she shared that she's taking a deeper dive into relationships herself, has been doing a lot of study on relationships, and has been just kind of going down the rabbit hole of, what really makes people tick. One of the things that she shared was that what am I trying to say? There's a positive correlation between the number of relationships that you have and not having dementia. So if you have a lot of quality relationships, as you get older, the likelihood of you developing dementia is going to be less.
Oh my God.
Which yes. And it makes sense, right? It makes a lot of sense. If you have quality relationships, you have people that are checking up on you. You have people that you're checking up on as well. You have quality conversations. You're talking about your needs, your wants, your dislike, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this I haven't read the study, but I don't think that it's necessarily only romantic partners, but clearly romantic partners are the first people that we think about. A
good balance of everything.
Yeah. So this is a perfect time to segue into the question that she left for you. Right. In terms of, one of the definitions of a quote unquote quality connection is someone who knows your needs, someone who is in tune with helping you meet those needs, someone that you can lean on for some of those needs. And so her question was, how many people in your life do you feel really know what you need?
Good question. How many people? What? The question is even like, I'm even asking myself, do I even know exactly what I need? Because my needs keep changing every time.
That's exactly the same thing I said when she said it. I'm like, me myself. Let's start there.
Like, first of all, do I even know what I need every time? Because, I've lived with anxiety for a very long time. That is why it was very imperative for me to learn how to give myself permission to relax. And one of the things I struggle with is figuring out what I want or what I want to do, what I need, even to be able to put down a goal. How do I craft this? How do I write this? What exactly do I need? Because I'm like, okay, this will be good. This will also be good. This will also be good. So sometimes if I have a partner, it might cause a little bit of tension and stress for them because, first of all, I can't really voice out what I need for them to be able to even provide that for me. And sometimes it could even go both ways, But what I would say is that I don't think I have people who know exactly what I need every time, but I do have a few people that I have been blessed with to be in my life who are very empathetic, where, it could be through a conversation. I wouldn't even have to mention it. Like, okay, Rox, I think I thought of you, or the last time when we were having a conversation, you mentioned this, and I thought maybe you would need this. Yeah. And at the time, I was like, wow, thank you for thinking about it. But if they had asked me, do you need this? I might stumble, or I might not be sure if I really need it. But because of their empathy, for them to be able to read what I might need, they get it for me, and then it makes me feel happy. But sometimes I believe we all have the responsibility to always find out what we really need or what we really want. And that will also have to stem from knowing who we are, because that is where it starts from. Who are you? What are your core values? What are the things that make you tick? What are the things that motivate you? What are the things that are a no-no for you? Because most of us don't even know what that is, because we are still in the web. We are still caught up in the web of trauma and confusion. I add confusion because that's what trauma does to you.
Yes.
Mental or emotional, it puts you in a roller coaster. You can't really settle. You're just hanging there. You know, you are upside down. You are left, right, center. You never really know where you are. You're just trying to, you know, survive every day. So I think I will start by, you know, getting down to knowing who I am. Who is Roxanne? What are her values? Like, really, like solely Roxanne, not who Roxanne's parents wanted her to be, or who Roxanne's friends expect her to be, not who Roxanne's partner wants her to be. Who is Roxanne aside all these people, aside the outside noise, you know? Then, if I'm sure, or if I'm able to know a certain level of, get to a certain level of knowing myself, then I'll be able to say, okay, you know what? In a relationship, this is what I need. These are my wants, or these are a no for me. These are a red flag for me, or these are a green green flag for me. But if I don't get to know who I am, I could always be swayed. I could easily be manipulated. I could easily be coerced. I could easily be talked into wanting something I don't really want. And that's what people pleasers do. I mean, I'm a recovering people pleaser because I'm not really sure. I'm so confused. I just go with what everybody is doing or what everybody is expecting me to do. Then, okay, Roxanne, I think you need this. Oh, okay. You think it looks good on me? Okay, fine. I go with it. But if I know myself and I know what I need and someone suggests otherwise, I'll be able to create a boundary that, no, I don't need this. Yes, I need this. No, this is not me. Yes, this is me. So to answer the question, I do have a few people who are very sensitive to my needs, even when I don't really know exactly what I need, who are sensitive to the things I'm passionate about. And then they try their best to come through for me. And whenever I'm able to use my words, I also tell them that, you know what, this is what I need. This is what I need. So I don't know if that did a little bit of
it. Does. I definitely understand exactly what you're saying. Trauma and confusion. Trauma and confusion definitely go hand in hand, and it can sometimes take years to kind of right size yourself. Exactly.
Yeah. It kind of derails you, doesn't it? It kind of like takes you a few years back. Always.
But another thing to think about another thing that came to mind when you think about trauma and healing, it's not linear, right? You'll have good days, and then there'll be something that'll happen, and you're taken all the way back, like all the way. There'll be a song that you'll hear. There'll be a smell. There'll be something that can take you right back. So having a toolkit of things you can kind of pull from to pull yourself out, you know, whether that's mindfulness, whether that's dance, you know, whether that's the internet. I mean, the internet there's a lot of bad things about the internet, but there's also a lot of good. Because I know during the pandemic, when it was just me and children and milk and diapers, there will be times when somebody would go on live and I would join their live, and automatically I would be shifted into their world, and I'll have even if it's a 5 to 10 minute reprieve of kicking and laughing, and that's helpful. That's helpful to somebody's
very helpful. Very helpful.
Yeah. So it's not a linear thing.
No, I don't think it's linear because I don't know what it is even. Like it's in all directions. Sometimes you are going this way, another time you go that way, you move around in circles, you come back to the north, then you start in the east. But I always say that there's always progress. So far as you are on the journey, there's always progress. Because me now, and I don't believe we always completely heal, or you have to completely heal before you will be deserving or worthy of love or good relationship. I feel like trauma is like, it's like a memory, or it's like a story. Now, the story never changes, but what you make of the story will determine how far you've come on your healing journey. So the story remains the same, but the impact will be changing depending on how far you are going on your healing journey. So the things that I will sit in my room and cry over, sometimes maybe in the past, I used to cry maybe twice a week or every day. I cry like 7 times in a week, 24/7. But now maybe I just cry about it once a month. Nothing has changed about what happened.
Progress, yeah.
Mm-hmm. The event is still there. The event happened, but my chemistry or my anatomy or how my body responds to it now is different. And that for me is a win. Like it's always the win I celebrate, like a win is a win. I don't say, okay, I've forgotten the track. Like you can't forget the event. You can never forget the event, but you keep going. And sometimes it might feel like you've come back to square one. I don't believe so. It might feel so, but that might not be true. Because it's a memory. When you are triggered, you always go back to that memory. But something definitely has changed as you progress on your healing journey.
Definitely.
And I'm doing better than I used to. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Doing better now.
That's good. That's a blessing. A win is definitely a win. A win is definitely a win. Thank you so much for your time, Roxanne. As we move into the last part of the conversation, I would like to invite you to leave a question for our next guest.
Yeah, I think we didn't address something.
Okay, sure.
You asked what is my healthcare choice, which I really wanted to share.
Okay. Yes.
My self-care
your self-care of choice. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so briefly, now I think I'm loving more of meditation and journaling. Oh my God.
Okay.
Journaling is like magic. Like, it's like the good witchcraft, because
it is definitely.
If you can be vulnerable, open, and raw with yourself and pen down what is going through your mind and always coming back to it, like it's just really puts you, because let me say this, I think that we are like, we have the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, and over 90% of what we do or who we are is from the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is like our default setting. We are not always aware of it. And that's why sometimes you need to write certain things down, because if you depend on just your conscious mind, you might miss certain things, or you might even lose focus, because so many thousands and millions of thoughts pass through our head in a day. But when you write certain things down, it's like, that's like the cheat code. Like, okay, now I've put this one down. It's not going to bypass me just like every other thought, so that next time I will build on it, or I'll make more progress based on the history I have recorded, or based on the data I have recorded. It's like you are recording data for yourself so that it will help you for future programming. I don't know if it makes sense.
Of course,
I always recommend journaling and meditation, because again, coming back to breathing slower, I discovered recently that, when you are faced with danger, your heart beats faster, and then your breath quickens. And so your body thinks you are in danger, and you are all over the place, you are anxious, and you can't think clear, and you cannot manifest anything. You cannot manifest the life that you want. But if you slow down, no matter what you're going through, if you trick the body to feel that there's nothing wrong, you have a clearer head space to make decisions. So when even I'm panicking or even I'm going through a stress, now I'm learning to, no matter what I'm feeling like, just breathe slower than you are breathing. You know, you breathe in 4 counts, hold it 4, bring it out 4. That way, in the midst of the chaos, your body still believes that there's no chaos. And then you're on top of your mind you have sound mind to make your decisions. Okay, now my question to the next guest. Wow, man, I should have thought of it. Hold on.
Okay, while you think about it, let me just add something about the meditation, the breathing aspect. I think that's the singular most useful tip that I have learned in terms of mental health, because just like you said, I have anxiety too. There's a lot of times where, I guess, situations where it wouldn't necessarily stress out somebody else, but I will be stressed. Okay. Yeah. I said, where's my little, I have to start using my little stress ball. It's just a lot going on. Especially, I do a lot of presenting at work. You know, you start to get jitters. Yeah. So breathing has definitely helped. It's been helping me. It's been helping me a lot. And I also wanted to ask you, before you go into your question, clearly I now am a sister lock. I now have sister locks. When did I get my sister locks? I guess a little bit more than a year ago.
Oh, wow. So that's
June of last year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. I think when we met, I think I had a set of locks. I cut my hair because I just needed a complete.
I realized that it's different. Yeah, now.
I needed a spiritual reset. And I felt like
I cut my hair too. I cut my locks.
That's what I was gonna ask. What's the story behind your hair? Because you had locks,
girl.
Yes.
So I was going through it, like the end of 2022. I went through a breakup. Okay, so that's the typical story, the stereotypical story. However, so the way I deal with trauma or pain, sometimes it begins to affect me physically. So what I was experiencing was there was just so much chaos in my head. My head would overheat. So there were times where I could not relax if I don't pour ice water in my head. So there was just so much heat. Like I was going crazy. I thought something was going to happen to me. Like my head was exploding all the time. So then one day I was like, you know what? Let me cut this hair. I did it myself. I just took scissors, cut it, and then there was just
are you serious?
And I just took it, but then they're here. I've kept them. I just cut, and I straight went under the shower, just poured water on my head. I kept pouring water on my head, and I was just there for as long as I could, because I felt like I needed that. Like there was just fire on my head. And I couldn't think straight. I was going crazy. So I went through a very bad separation myself. And it was making me lose my mind. And losing my mind internally was affecting me externally. Like I had migraines. There was literally heat coming from top of my head all the time. I always have to pour water. And because the locks were a bit much, anytime I pour water, it was so damp. Like
it was heavy. Wasn't it heavy at that time?
Yeah, it was a bit, it was up to, here for a
yeah.
So it was always damp and not smelling good because I needed to always cool my hair. And I was like, you know what, let me get this off. Maybe it will give me some relief for me to have a clear mind and start all over again. And that's what I did. After doing that, I went for my audition, got into this production house, started doing my plays. And it's like my life is, gradually picking up, especially doing things I've always really wanted to do for myself.
Hair is so energetically charged. It's energetic. So I'm not surprised that you say you cut your hair. Yes, your hair is still with you, but everything shifts it. It's so energetic.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. So imagine all the energy, the trauma, the stress that I had gone through. It was just weighing me down.
It was.
And I had to let it go and start a new chapter. And that's where I've been now. And I'm happy. I'm so happy, like where I am. I'm so happy. And it has helped me trust the process because walking away from that relationship, or taking a step to go for audition or start doing monologues or start pursuing what I really want. It was so scary because tell you what, that would be the first time. And again, when you don't learn a lesson, the universe will keep bringing it to you till you choose yourself or till you learn it. Because up until then, I was always caught up in attaching myself to people, doing things for people. It was just Roxanne on everything, Roxanne everywhere with people. I had never been able to stand on my own. And that was my cross to face because it was the most scary thing I'd ever had to go through. And I was like, wow, that's how deep it is. Like, it's so scary for me to choose myself. Like, what happened to me that I had to go through a panic attack? Like, I panicked that, whoa, I'm choosing myself, something I've never done before. And it's the best decision I have ever made. And I'm still on that journey, gradually. Sometimes the wave comes down, sometimes it goes up.
Yeah.
I'm still in there. I'm happy.
Yes. Yeah. May you always choose yourself, please.
Yeah.
It can be so radical. Isn't that wild? Radical for us as women to choose ourselves. It's crazy.
Because people depend on us not choosing ourselves. The world need for us not to choose ourselves so they could benefit. So it's always a radical, rebellious act for you to choose yourself. So I'll panic. I'll have, what is going on? I'm going to die. Something is going to happen to me. And then you get through it and you're like, you're still here. So,
still here. Yes, your question.
My question is, so just like every other relationship, when you are this is like a premise to my question. So, when you're in a romantic relationship, something goes wrong. It's easy for you to break up. It's easy for you to separate. When you are with a friend and you fall out with them, it's easy for you to distance yourself. But something we don't really talk about is dysfunctional relationship between parent and child. So my question is, when a parent has contributed to causing you so much trauma or to causing you so much emotional damage, what should be the relationship to have with them in order for you to have peace of mind? I don't know how you put that. Like if I'm with my partner, I can easily break up.
Yes.
And move away. But then, in Africa, your parents, you're forever attached to your parents. Not even in Africa. These people brought you to the world. They brought you into the world. So how do you divorce or break up with a parent without seeming like a taboo or something out of this world and still maintaining your peace of mind? That is my question, girl.
That is the question of the century.
Because I feel like this conversation needs to be had, like, maybe on another podcast. Because, girl, like, if I tell you...
What?
Look, we need to address this, especially in Africa.
Let's not shake this table too much.
Not today, God, I beg. I feel you. Maybe another time. Because something I'm very passionate about.
It is. I think I definitely want to have this conversation. It's something that I'm actively in the middle of myself.
Right.
Woo. Like personally. Right.
Wow.
Yes. So it's definitely a conversation I'm willing to invite you back on the podcast so that we can have that conversation.
Please do. Like that. I have so much to say.
It's just a lot. It's a lot.
Girl,
both on mother and father side. There's a lot of. I rekindled a relationship with my therapist recently. Have a new therapist. Right. And the therapy thing is very necessary, but it's also very trying because you have to tell the story oldest time.
You have to relive it.
Okay. So you have to revisit traumas and issues that still haunt you to today,
Like for life. It's difficult. When it's a partner
to deal with,
like let's say a friend, or maybe I don't know, like a partner, you could block them, you could have a distance, you could have boundaries. But what do you do with a parent without seeming rude or disrespectful? And what is even
ungrateful.
respect in this regard? What does respect even mean? Like, God, like,
Lord, I'm telling you, this question is yeah, it's a very serious question. And I think it's definitely a conversation that we need to have. Maybe I'll bring somebody else on board so we can have a three-way, three-part conversation.
It would be great.
Yeah, it's definitely, you know, I have friends that have completely been like, yeah, that person is X to me. Like Thanksgiving, Christmas, I don't see them. They don't know my children. They don't know
them.
Yes.
I always say, look, if you know someone who is in no contact with a parent or their parents, don't judge them. Because it's easy to say, oh, but no matter what, they're your parents. No, you don't know what has happened. Yes. Because that parent, when you do that, it means you are dehumanizing the parent, because they are human, and you need to accept that the fact that they are human, they are capable of doing wrong. And when you do wrong, it's okay to face the consequences. So the fact that I'm a child or you're a parent, it does not make you a superhuman or an extraterrestrial pet-like being. You are still human, and it's okay. You get? So when you say, oh, but they are still your parent, no, they are not like God. They are human, and they did what humans did, and then they are facing the effects of that, and that's okay. You know that.
Simple.
Difficult.
But you know, that whole parent-child continuum is challenging baseline. And as a parent myself, I've had to really challenge a lot of the ways I thought I was going to raise my children from the way I am raising them. And that's one thing that
reality is different.
Right. Reality is different.
I agree.
Before my first child was born, my husband and I, we had a conversation about different things. Yeah. And he brought up a concept of, yes, consent is something that everybody, we talk about consent a lot when we talk about sexual relationships, but consent is across the board, right? Yeah. And the concept of a parent needing consent from their child is crazy. Nobody pays attention. Nobody pays attention to consent when it comes to children, because it's automatically assumed that, oh, I'm the parent. I'm basically the one that will provide the consent for my child. That's trash. That's trash.
And no, I empathize and recognize the challenge, because I'm no parent, but I empathize with parents having challenges, because it's so easy to say, okay, when I have my child, I'm going to be a conscious parent. I'm going to be, there's a way they call it. There's a name they call it. But the reality of the matter is not easy. Children are very stressful. And I come
gentle
to
parent is what we call the gentle parenting.
Gentle. Exactly. I mean, it's gentle parents until you become a parent. So I recognize that it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. No, it's not.
But you know, like, I feel like your level of healing will also determine your level of relationship or the health of the relationship with your child.
Yes.
And of course, most of our parents in their generation don't even know what healing is. So they did what they did, and it's justified. They don't have the range to reason and say, okay, well, maybe this is not good for your mental health. Mental health, what is that? You know? But we, maybe millennials, you know, we can be able to start having different conversations, knowing and still acknowledging the fact that it's difficult. Like, for me, difficult. I don't disagree. Yeah. It is difficult. And I think parents need support and all the backing. Yeah.
Yeah, it is difficult. Gentle parenting is difficult, but consent is not for me. So that's definitely something. And it's actually me kind of deferring to my children on different things at their young ages. Yes, they need to decide if and when they want XYZ to happen. It's
and that doesn't take any power from you. I think.
No, of course not.
It actually empowers them more. That way, they'll be able to have a stronger voice, stronger boundaries. Because, you know, most of us, look at us, like our age mates, our generation, most of us are timid. You know, people in their 30s, 40s, they can't speak because they were never given a voice. They were never given a choice or a say in their house. So why would I not want my child to have a voice when I finally get one?
Exactly. No, these my children, they have their voices. They have their voices most.
And I know sometimes you just have to say, "Hey, sit down," but but there are levels to this. It happens to everybody. It will happen. It doesn't mean you're a bad parent.
No.
There are levels to this shit. Like some of our parents in the older generation.
Oh God, that conversation will be heated, I'm sure.
I'm telling you, to be so tense because most of us are still in like cognitive dissonance. Like it's hard to accept that however you turn out might be because of the relationship you have with your parents. We are not saying your parents is the devil, but let's acknowledge the fact that something they did or did not do has ended you this way. That is the only way you can forgive them and forgive yourself and forgive the situation and grow. But if you go like, oh, no matter what, my parents love me. Yes, they love you, but don't gaslight what happened. Like everything could be true,
Yes.
Like it was a deep conversation. I always say, I love my parents. I love my dad. I love of blessed memory. I love my mom, but I did not like what they did.
Simple.
I did not like what they did.
Two things
not
can
liking
be,
what they did is not equal to me not loving them. I love them. I love them here, but I hate what they did. So now let's address this. This is still solid. This is what a lot of people don't have the range to reconcile. They can't get through it. Yeah. But girl, let's have that conversation because that is my field. I am so I want to talk about it.
Good. I'm already thinking about the someone to kind of bring in from the psych point of view. So yeah, I'll definitely reach out to you in regards to that. But thank you so much, Roxanne. This has been amazing. Do you have a podcast? You had a podcast before. Do you still have a podcast now?
No, I got lazy, girl. Like I have to probably start again. Listen, like when you start again, let us know. I couldn't keep up.
No, it's it is the single most joyful thing in my life. These podcast recordings, it is amazing. I really love these conversations. Girl, you have to teach me.
I don't know how to use the Zoom or whatever to do it, so maybe you will take me through some tutorials. Like
I will. When you're ready, holla at me. I got you.
I will, definitely. I'll do my homework and I'll come so you help me out.
Definitely.
Thank you so much. I really enjoyed this conversation.
This has been amazing. Please let everybody know the best place to reach you on Instagram.
Okay, so I'm on Instagram, Miss Roxanne, M-I-Z, Roxanne, R-O-X-A-N-N-E. My dance page is, I have two. I have Dance for Mental Health, and then I have Kizomba Queens, which is just dance, Kizomba dance for ladies. Those are the three main pages for now. I'm on TikTok as Miss Roxanne, and then I'm on Facebook as Roxanne Bougsin.
Okay, I'll have all those.
Yeah, I mean, you put it out there.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I've sent you the pictures.
Awesome.
In your email as well. So you choose whatever you want to choose. And please, guys, this is an amazing podcast. Make sure you tune in, keep watching. Is it watching or listening? What is it?
It's both. It's the both.
Okay, keep watching, keep listening. Yes. Stella is amazing. And
thank you so much.
Maybe let's do this again some other time.
We will, definitely. Thanks so much. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, girl. Bye.